Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. If you are new, my name is Andrea. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and jump into the first recipe. So on the first night, I made 1-pot beef and pepper stew. This recipe was so delicious, but basically what you're going to start out with is spraying your pan and adding in 1 pound of ground beef. You're also going to need a large can of diced tomatoes undrained. You're going to need 1 large onion, and you're going to want to dice that up. Next, you're going to need 3 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You're also going to use 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of canned diced jalapenos. Depending on how spicy you want this, you can definitely do less or more. I ended up using about 1.5, and it was pretty spicy, but we like spicy in this household, so it wasn't a bother at all. But if you're not a huge fan of spiciness, you could actually substitute this for green chilies or just use less of the diced jalapenos. Now I am just going to brown up the onions a little bit, add in my ground hamburger meat, and then I'm going to go in and add the spices and the diced jalapenos. Now that everything is well combined, you are just going to want to simmer everything to let those spices and flavors marinate with one another. And then you're going to serve this over white rice. You can use brown rice as well, but we just used white rice this time, and this would be really good over pasta. And I actually made this over Southern hash browns for my husband another night with leftovers, and it was very delicious and highly recommended. So on this night, I'm just throwing together a quick, easy dinner. I have this vegetable fried rice. I also have this P.F. Chang's honey chicken. And then we actually ended up making some of these chicken pot stickers. This vegetable fried rice was really delicious. The pot stickers were really good. The P.F. Chang's chicken was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. So the next night, I just wanted to make some quick air fryer chicken strips. I also had some fresh corn from the farmer's market that I wanted to make. And then I just paired this with just a can of baked beans. And as usual, I am just seasoning the chicken with onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic salt, and I did add a little bit of paprika to the top just to give it a little color and a little extra smokiness. and I'm going to be cooking these in my air fryer as recommended. Now for the corn. If I can't grill my corn, this is my favorite way to boil it on the stove. So I just add in about 3 cups of water. I also add in a cup to a cup and a half of milk. Whole milk is the best in my opinion. And then I add in a couple of tablespoons of butter. And then you're just going to want to put your corn straight into that pot and boil it until the corn is tender. And here's everything all plated up. I did salt and pepper the corn a little bit. And there's the beans and the chicken. And that's what's for dinner. So on this night, I am making hamburger steak again. I made it a couple weeks ago. You guys saw the recipe. I did mix it up a little bit. In this one, I just seasoned my meat with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of garlic salt. And I did actually have some brown gravy this time, so I am going to be serving this with brown gravy, which I was kind of missing the last time I made this, honestly. And then I'm just going to be pairing it with some mashed potatoes, which I'm going to top with that brown gravy because I don't know about y'all, but there's just something about mashed potatoes and brown gravy. Not everyone's cup of tea, I know, but that's what I like. And then I'm also going to be pairing it with some green beans, and that is what's for dinner. So on this night, I decided to make some barbecue chicken pizza. This used to be a staple in our household before Matt and I got married, before we had Manny. We used to eat this, like, I swear it was like once a week. But I'm just going to be seasoning up the chicken, and I'm going to put it in the air fryer as always, just quick and easy, mindless. And I'm just seasoning it with some salt and pepper. and probably a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder, let's be honest. And you're just gonna want to get a regular pizza crust from the cold section, buy the biscuits, or you can use whatever pizza crust your little heart desires, but that's the pizza crust we used. And you're gonna cook that in the oven as recommended before you add all your toppings. And normally for this recipe, I would use a red onion or a purple onion, whatever you call it. But I only had a sweet yellow onion on hand, so I just decided to give it a try and see how it turned out. And it turned out pretty good. But you're just gonna wanna use about a third of a onion, whatever onion you prefer. Now that my chicken is all cooked up, I'm just going to shred that up so I can add it to the pizza. I'm also going to top it with a little bit of barbecue sauce and mix that all together, making sure all the chicken is covered in the barbecue sauce. Now to build the toppings for your pizza, you're first going to want to cover your crust in barbecue sauce. I like to use a brush just so I can get the edges covered in the barbecue sauce because it does this like caramelized thing and it makes the crust taste so delicious. So I highly recommend using a brush just to spread everything around. Next, you're going to want to top this in cheese. You can use literally any kind of cheese. I had some sharp cheddar cheese on hand, so that's what we used. You're also going to add in your onions and your chicken. And last, just for a little extra kick or a little extra flavor, you're going to add in some cilantro. I unfortunately did not have any fresh cilantro on hand, so I just used some dried cilantro. And then you're just going to want to bake this with the recommended temperature on the pizza dough, and you want to make sure all your cheese is gooey and melty. And this is the finished product. This was a very delicious dinner. I love barbecue chicken pizza. It's one of my favorite kinds of pizza. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for being my kind of weird. Bye.